Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Seaman's Cinema Sitdown, and back in for a little more Spooktober action, and this, of course, some Spooktober catch-up action. Thank you all for your patience, as I think I've been fighting off a cold since the end of last week, and I was doing a bunch of things Saturday. I got caught up with our Scream review in the morning, then I was doing things in the apartment. As you can see, the TV is now mounted to the wall, so now I just eventually get a couch over there, and we're pretty good to go. And then I had work, and when I came back, I was just kind of feeling run down. Yesterday, I needed a day. I appreciate you guys letting me take that day. And now we get to dive back in, like I said, to our Spooktober countdown. And as you can see in front of you, all month long, we've been watching a different spooky, scary Halloween movie. And to this point, I've had a lot of fun. I hope you guys have been enjoying it as much as I have. I think it's a good mix of old and new and different, areas of the overall horror genre. And right now, in the horror genre, we're in that 90s horror mode, specifically the slasher mode of the mid to late 90s. We talked about Scream, which should have been on Friday, but like I said, popped that up on Saturday morning. And now we get to dive into not a follow-up, but the following summer, another scary movie came out that was once again written by Mr. Kevin Williamson. So why don't you pull up a chair, take a seat, we're getting ready to dive into I Know What You Did Last Summer, and that's the real reason the TV's on the wall, so that in the studio space, we can have a visual representation of what I'm talking about, the way we used to have it in the old Seaman Cave. So feeling much more like home now, and I'm a fan of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Look, it's not Scream. Scream is one of the all-time greats for me personally. And the way that Scream is able to pay homage and directly reference and have these meta horror slasher moments throughout the whole film and have that built into the context of the movie was just something that was so original and so fun. As a nostalgia person, you know me, growing up watching those classics, getting to see a new movie like pay direct homage to those but create something that was its own was so much fun. And I Know What You Did Last Summer is not an original screenplay for Williamson. He's adapting this one from a novel written by Lois Duncan. Until I was doing prep, I didn't even know that this was based on that book. But this is far more, I think, in the traditional realm of the slasher, and Williamson once again proves he's really, really good in that realm. I love what he does with the cast, the stuff he gives his characters to do, and the different scary moments that they kind of pop up into, and the mystery that they kind of have to figure out. I think is a lot of fun. I love what he does with his killer. He lets his killer have not quite as much fun as the Scream killers, but more than enough fun kind of playing with his prey. The way he toys with the kids in this movie. In moments where, like, he's got Ryan Felipe dead to rights after crashing him through a building and opts not to kill him. It's like, oh, wait, I'll get you later. And I love the way Williamson is able to kind of have this fun with the character who we don't ever see his face. We don't hear him speak until the very end of the movie when the reveal hits. And the reveal is really good, too. Again, Williamson, much like Scream, has characters that you think, man, his red herrings are really good. For a long time, we think that Ray, Mr. Freddie Prinze Jr., is our bad guy. And just the way that he is able to show you Freddie at the beginning of the movie and then fast forward a year later and give you somebody that, like, this could be the guy. It sets up a pretty decent urban legend type story where, like, okay, it's not a ghost, can't be a ghost, who is it? And then when you find out everything that happens, I think the reveal plays really well. And once again, I think Williamson just crushes in this genre. Like I said, the movie has a lot of fun in it if you're a fan of the genre. And either second or first time director Jim Gillespie, he had 2 features come out in 97. This was one of the 2. He does a decent job. This isn't Wes Craven, but Gillespie has moments. I like the tension that he's able to build when, Sarah Michelle Gellar is running for her life back to her sister's shop that she works at, and the killer is getting closer and closer and closer. And while there's a lot of classic elements to a scene like that, it's executed really well. And I like the scene where, Jennifer Love Hewitt's character is just like, I've had enough. What are you waiting for? And the way the camera kind of comes up and cranes above everybody. He has some nice moments, and it does enough where I don't have too many crazy criticisms for Gillespie, other than like there are some generic feels to the look of the movie. But it's enough to make the script pop and enough for the actors to go have fun. And this cast is yet again another crop of our young 90s Hollywood. So many of them were in Scream. It's like the people who were left over, they gotta know what you did last summer. And there are interesting similarities with the group, too. I mean, our lead, Jennifer Love Hewitt, from Party of Five fame, much like Neve Campbell, who was also our main lead. But then you got Sarah Michelle Gellar, who, of course, was, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And those two were like two of my biggest crushes as a kid. So this movie certainly appealed to me. I was like, I need to see I Know What You Did Last Summer. Jennifer Love Hewitt and Sarah Michelle Gellar, come on. Young Corey certainly had a ball with this movie. But then, you also have Ryan Felipe, Freddie Prinze Jr. in there. And these are four faces that would be pretty commonplace in the late 90s and early 2000s. And again, it was a horror movie that kind of put them all on display in one place. And they all do a really good job. Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, Julie James, she's our quote-unquote final girl. I like what she does, man. Like, for someone who has the sex appeal that Jennifer Love Hewitt has, Julie James doesn't have any of that. And she really does play the more innocent, kind of introverted, group member. Like, obviously, she has a group of friends, and she goes out and she's social amongst them, but there's like a shyness to her and a girl next door-ish to her, which, like I said, really impressive just on its own when you're someone who looks like Jennifer Love Hewitt. But the other thing, too, is the way that she really kind of dives into that, like, I'm not depressed, but like haunted. Coming back a year after they commit this murder, you can tell that she is a completely different person than when you see her at the beginning of the movie. From the physical nature of her, her hair isn't as well taken care of. She doesn't really mess with makeup. She's kind of bummy physically looking. But emotionally, you get all of the fear and the anxiety and the guilt that just lives and breathes through Jennifer Love Hewitt's character. And watching Julie kind of shed all of that stuff because she's got to step up just to survive is fun to watch. And I think Hewitt just nails that stuff. Then you get like the opposite side of that pendulum with Sarah Michelle Gellar, who's, the quote-unquote hot high school girl. She's the one who's like really pretty and is like, I'm going to be an actor, and probably thinks it'll be easier because she's good looking. And when she doesn't make it as an actor, those types of things really play into the character, and Gellar plays them quite well. And as badass as she is in Buffy, she is a pretty good damsel in distress. Like I said, that scene where the killer's chasing her toward her sister's shop that she works at, like, you really feel that tension because Gellar is selling it so well. And in those freak out moments that she has, she just gets to have a lot of fun. Then Ryan Felipe, he plays the high school D-bag football player Barry Cox really, really well. And he seems to be the one that's got the most on the line, maybe a potential college scholarship, maybe a football future. He is not taking any chances with this. He's the one who, convinces everyone to get rid of the body because it's his car. And even though he's not driving, he'll be the one that goes to jail. And he's not trying to go to jail for an accident, even though it does become a murder. But he is the one that, like, anytime you're confronted or brought up about it, he snaps real quick. And the way that he can kind of flip like that on a dime is just really, really well done. And then the terrifying nature to his character, like the way he goes after Jennifer Love Hewitt to make her say out loud, like, I'm committing to this game plan, makes him a scary character, yet you never think it's Ryan Felipe. If you think it's anyone in the group, you think it's Freddie Prinze Jr. And Freddie also plays that role really, really well. Like, he's the, nice guy heartthrob, not the D-bag quarterback heartthrob. And he plays like a nice guy, but he's a little awkward. And when they come back and he's MIA the whole movie, and that he's been working down by the ships and the harbor, and could very easily get the look of what the killer is, the trench coat and hat, he becomes the red herring and really keeps you guessing the whole movie until it's revealed that it's not him right up at the end. And like I said, watching all four of these guys together just was really enjoyable. They're a cast that has a lot of fun on screen. And then Muse Watson, who plays our fisherman, who eventually is revealed is Benjamin Willis. He's great. Like, he physically, the presence and the look of the fisherman is just spot on. I love the hook. The way, like I said, Williamson and Gillespie are able to give us those kill moments, when he goes after Johnny Galecki's character, and you get the hook through the jaw and pulled across. Like, that physical presence and the look, the production design around that character and then the execution from Watson is a scary presence. And then when he finally gets to reveal himself, gets to play, Benjamin Willis, and not have the costume on, you could just tell he was waiting the whole movie to, like, just have that moment of himself on screen. He has a lot of fun, and again, very, very scary. And there you go, man. I mean, for me, I Know What You Did Last Summer, more than worthy of being in the 90s slasher greats conversation. It's not quite Scream, but it delivers all the things I'm looking for in this type of movie. And like I said, you have a young cast that has a lot of fun and, gives you enough by the end where you can kind of go, hey, we can make more of these movies if we want, even if the ending in and of itself didn't really make you think we would get any more. I was more than happy to go on another ride with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr.'s characters in a follow-up. But overall, man, I'm a fan of I Know What You Did Last Summer. It scratches that itch. And when it comes to nostalgia and things of my childhood, I'm always a sucker for those. So there you go, man. Those are all my thoughts on I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now I want to know what you're thinking. Where does I Know What You Did Last Summer fall in the slasher genre for you, specifically in those 90s? If you compare it right to Scream, same writer in both instances, what was working and not working in that area? Where does it land for you next to Scream? And like I said, the overall community. And then when you just are in the movie in and of itself, did you like the cast? Did you think the direction could have been better? How did the script work for you? Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Everything you got to say about I Know What You Did Last Summer goes down below in the comments section. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, you want to come hang out with the C-Man the rest of Spooktober, we only got about a week, a little under a week left to go. You want to be here for all that action? Just want to be here for movie trailer reactions and reviews, then come and show a little love support for the channel by jumping over there, join the C-Maniacs, and hit that subscribe button. Hit that little bell if you want those alerts. And until next time, for the C-Man's Cinema Sit Down, I've been the C-Man. I'm signing off. Peace. You guys are still here? You must be looking for some more content. Well, don't worry. C-Man's got you covered, man. You got videos like this guy and this guy. And if you haven't yet, and you want to come check out all the C-Man goodies, join the Cinema Sit Down squad, man. Hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the little bell down below that, too, so you can get alerts every time I make new videos.